Cool. Okay, good day. I'm gonna be discussing chapter 6, creating our back-end server. And Lindo's navigating my session.
Hi everyone, I'll be the navigator of today's session.
Alright, cool. So here, basically created our back-end server, right? So let's see. So yeah, we created our server.js. So let's jump into that and see what it does. So over here, we have our server.js. Mainly what this is for is it sets up the Express server for our back end, specifically for this movie reviews app. So um so basically we imported Express over here, which is the framework that builds our web server and our APIs. Then also helps with middlewares and stuff. Then our course, which is what we discussed before, that's our cross origin resource sharing. So this basically allows the back end to accept requests from other origins, right? Am I correct in saying that, Lindo?
Yes.
That's our course, yeah. Then imported the movies from our API movies routes.js here. So basically this is basically the API where we get our movies from. So imports the router that contains all the routes related to the movies. Then we have here the const app express. This is mainly where we create the server using Express. Then over here we have this middleware where we use cause, right? So like I explained, this basically helps with the interaction between the front end and the back end without the browser blocking that process. Then we use express.json, which is passing incoming requests, so mainly for requests. This is mainly for requests, right, Lindo?
You, which one is what are you saying? Your
This
screen is
mid.
still loading. I think my Wi-Fi is slow.
Oh, so
You saying?
if you go to server.js.
Yeah. I see your screen now.
Okay, app.use
Express.json.
express.json. Yeah. So that's mainly
Yes.
for requests, right?
It's for basically if we're getting a JSON file,
Yeah.
it just ensures what's this? It's for passing incoming JSON request bodies. Meaning when we get JSON files, it knows what to do with it.
Okay. Okay. Alright, cool. Then yeah, then this middleware over here, so API /v1/movies. So basically when a request is made to this endpoint, then what happens is this movies router basically handles that essentially. And then over here, this is basically a fallback route here, and it has basically an error if the movies are not found essentially. So yeah, that's our server.js. Then I have the index over here. So this is the main entry point of the backend application for the movie reviews app. So what this file does is basically connects our MongoDB and it starts the server. So first we import app over here from server.js, right? Then the MongoDB here for our Mongo database connection. Then we import .env, right? Which has the environment variables over here essentially. Then basically here we have our movies DOA and our reviews DOA. So these are our database our data access objects, and helps with the interaction between our app and our database. So those are our imports. And then we have this asynchronous function main, right? This function is what's gonna set up our server and our database connection. So we use .env config over here for our server and database connection. So here we have client, and within it we are basically creating the connection to our database with MongoDB Mongo client, and then we basically attach here that environment variable which we stored in our .env. Then this is basically, here we're setting up the port that our server is gonna run on. So it's basically port 5000. Then in this try block, this is where we connect to the MongoDB cluster. So we do that by using client.connect. Then we have here inject DB. So this basically, this is basically making the connection between our movies DAO, so our data access object for movies, right? And our database as well. Then here we have app.listen. This is gonna start the server on port 5000, and in this catch block it just logs an error if none of this runs true. And then the main function is called, which is this whole function I explained over here. And our env file as well. Is there anything you want to add there, Lindo?
Not really.
Alright, cool.
Okay, wait. Please go to your .env. Now I don't understand why you see you have a variable called ports equal to 5000, but then now what's this? Now a JS file, now a index.js file. Let's open it. We have now. Wait, I'm on the wrong file. Let me view your screen. You see, you have our port variable, and then now, why do we have, like, you see those lines saying like slash or rather o? Why do you have the process.env.port o 8000? So basically saying 5000 or 8000. Why?
I think it basically, what it means is if it's not running on port 5000, then the other port it will run on is 8000. So
Okay.
I believe if we remove this, right? Let's say we remove this. Let's see what happens. And then we run our server. It should run on 8000. You see there. Now it's running on port 8000. So port 8000 is just the other port that it runs on if port 5000 is not there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not accessing our environmental variable.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, interesting.
Because now you can see here 8000 is there.
Alright.
So cool. That's chapter 6.
Okay.